it was kind of ingrained in me that I was probably gonna get kidnapped in some point in my life.
Yeah.
She even staged a kidnapping. Hey y'all, welcome to Sip and Scream, the spookiest cocktail hour on YouTube. I'm Whitney.
I'm Patty, and we are Burton and Burton,
not Tim.
Tonight, we each have a cocktail that we rock with, and mine is a Manhattan with a twist. If y'all can't tell, she's a double. What you drinking, Whitney?
So this is a spicy margarita with coconut tequila. And there's some pineapple juice and some jalapenos up in there. It is good. It is strong.
I want y'all to know, she made that by hand.
With the strength.
The mixer of it all, the margarita of it all, she made.
Margarita mix from scratch, baby.
Boom. Okay. Let's get into it. Oh, wait, we didn't cheers. Let's cheers.
Whoops.
Yay.
Burton, cheers.
All right, y'all.
Let's get into it. All right, so you might be wondering, what is Burton and Burton?
Yeah, so basically, Whitney and I are two filmmakers. We love the horror genre, but we also produce, we write, and we direct, and we are diving into writing, directing, producing horror films. And so what we started doing was just watching horror films on Friday night, making a cocktail, and kind of not only studying horror, but just enjoying it. So we decided to make a channel where Burton and Burton, because go figure, both of our last names are Burton, where we can kind of put all of the work that we're doing, as well as feature a series that we started called Sip and Scream. And that's the thing, like, we want an at-home feel, because this is how it started with us. Like, we just, on a Friday night, will watch horror films and be cozy and make a cocktail and also, like, just build a friendship. But yeah, the Burton and Burton name and brand is, like, really expansive, and we wanted you guys to be able to feel, like, all these levels, I guess, from the cozy Sip and Scream to these, short films that we're going to be making.
We've said this before, or, like, if you go into our videos, if you've seen them, if you haven't, but we're no experts, like, we aren't experts in the space. We're kind of learning as we go.
Yeah.
We both have just grown up liking and appreciating horror films, and just want to create our own eventually. So, like, watching them and getting a feel for it and being inspired by it, and I just love the adrenaline, honestly, of a horror movie. Like, I always have, and I always will. Okay, so you're probably wondering, since we're both
Burton and Burton,
this is government name Patrice Burton. I am Whitney Burton. As far as we know, we are not related. I grew up in Avon, Indiana, outside of Indianapolis. She grew up in Arizona.
Southwest, woo woo.
And we met in 2019 at a backyard birthday party. I went there with a friend that I just moved to LA in 2019, or was technically visiting at the time, and was brought to this backyard party. And the guy that I was there with, he kind of went off and did his own thing, and I did my own thing, and I came across Patty and our other friend that you were there with.
I was wandering around, meeting new people. Yeah.
And we really just hit it off. I don't even remember what we talked about that night.
Right.
But we went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles the next day. I know that. With our friend Brittany. Shout out to Brittany.
Hey. I don't know when we found out we were both Burtons, but I know at the time we just thought it was a cool coincidence.
There might be some connection. Some Illinois, Chicago, Urbana.
Yeah. Because my family's from Chicago, so that's close to Illinois.
And my family, or both my mom and dad's families, are from Illinois, but, like, more of the central region. But who knows?
Should we say the Elephant in the room.
Oh, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Wherever he laid his hat. Both of
Not
our papas
saying
was a
that
Rolling
we
Stone.
have a father.
We
in
have
common.
different dads, but
We
they have a lot in
100%
common.
have different fathers.
Yes.
We're not siblings.
Yeah. But it's just uncanny.
Yeah. I talk to her more than most people in the world, so
same. Same. If I haven't talked to you in 2 days, I'm like,
is she okay?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah.
And it's cool because horror kind of like brought us together. Like we were friends. The pandemic hit. It was like on and off. Like
I was all
touch
over
and
the
go
place during the pandemic because I just moved to LA in 2019. We met like a few weeks after I first got here, and then the pandemic hit. I was bouncing all around, back New Orleans, Indiana, New Orleans, back here. We reconnected. Yeah. And ever since we reconnected, we've gotten really close and discovered our mutual love of the horror genre.
Yes.
And, you know, we were for about a year just like kicking it and watching scary movies.
Truly.
Just hanging out. And then one day it dawned on us, like, why don't we just like turn this into a thing?
I'm not gonna lie, in the Black community, it's tough. I have so many friends that are like, ooh, I don't know, I ain't letting them demons in my house.
That's demon work. That's demon work right there.
And you know what? I don't disagree. But before I watch a scary movie, I'd be like, okay, in the name of Jesus, block the TV, and then I'm good.
I don't be doing that.
I have slowed down on that, I will say, because I love it. But that just shows I was willing to watch horror at any cost. I was like, bless the TV. I'm still watching it.
I was watching like Tales of the Crypt way too early.
I'm so jealous.
Freddy Krueger.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Way too early. Nightmares.
I'm jealous.
Even like Independence Day, which is one of my favorite movies of all time now, but that scared me, and I saw it way too early than I should have.
Oh yeah, I guess seeing that early, yeah.
Every like light that shined in the freaking house, I thought was an alien spaceship. You know, like. Anyways, sorry, off track.
I'm jealous. I was not allowed to watch any horror genre at all, which is probably why in my adult years of finally diving in, I'm like blessing the TV. But I think I thought it was important for me. It's always been a part of my personality to just be into the spooky and the creepy. And we found each other. Like, it's hard to find people who will want to watch these things, want to go to, see a scary movie. And we found each other, and we happened to both be Burtons.
Black Burtons. Not Tim.
Oh my God.
No hate to you, Tim. No, by the way.
We love you, Tim.
No hate.
But we're just making it clear. But if you want to collaborate, let's go.
Hey.
Here for it.
We got ideas. Plenty.
This is Halloween.
Plenty of them. Oh yeah. Loves that movie.
Look, let's go. Black claymation, let's go, Tim. That's all I'm saying.
Let's not give them all our ideas, Patty.
Oh, with knowing what you love about horror, what inspires you as a horror film maker?
So, I mean, growing up, my mom was obsessed with like the Datelines.
Oh.
The 2020s.
Okay.
It was kind of ingrained in me that I was probably gonna get kidnapped in some point in my life.
Yeah.
She even staged a kidnapping.
This is great, Whitney.
So
damn, that's right.
I already like was prepared. Like,
yeah.
Every time I see a horror movie, I'm putting myself in the protagonist, in the different characters' situations, right? I love Black Mirror. I love what is the Jordan Peele thing that they redid? It wasn't Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh yeah.
It was the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Just like things like that where you have a concept, it's short.
Yeah.
And what would you do? It's just kind of what would you do? And That's what inspires me, is how can you take a concept and make it different. I aspire
to have a good twist.
That is what I really want. I want to have a twist that comes out of nowhere.
Because it could save your life. I know it's not planned, but I'm like, so you said you were kidnapped?
Oh, it was staged.
It was staged.
Yeah, so what happened was, you know, it was the early mid-90s, and so everybody was thinking everybody was getting kidnapped and kids were on milk cartons, which kids were, but
this was the 90s.
And like, I grew up in a trailer park and it was kind of racist, so my parents were a little more overprotective than most. Which, looking back, I get it, but everybody else was allowed to go down into the woods and ride their bikes and do this and that, and we had to stay in the front yard. We weren't allowed to leave our fenced-in area. And so I used to fight and battle to leave the front yard unsupervised.
That makes sense.
And my mom was like, and my mom and dad were both like, you couldn't take on a full-grown man, you know? Like, what are you gonna do if somebody gets you and throws you into the back of their car?
Valid.
And I would be like, I know exactly what I would do. I would do this, that, and that. And they're like, you are delusional. And
yikes.
So they showed me. I remember I was sitting at the little bar eating lunch, and I knew it was my dad because I knew they were up to something, right? But my dad comes up behind me and like puts his hand over my mouth and my nose and lifts me up and walks me out of the house. And I know it's him. So I'm just like, in my mind, I can't do anything because it's my dad. So I'm not going to kick and scream.
So you couldn't do the full plan you had.
And bite.
Right. Break his something.
So I'm just licking I remember so clearly. I'm licking his hand. Like,
oh, you're going easy on him because you would have bit the shit out of his hand.
Right.
If he was an assailant.
He sets me down on the ground and I like, was like, I knew it was you, and I run back into the house to argue with my mom because I'm like, I knew it was him. Like, I would have bit him, I would have kicked it, I would have screamed, and I was like, let's do it again. Am I allowed to bite him? I'll show you what I'll actually do if you let me do what I'll do.
Right, like, I don't know the rules to the mock kidnapping.
Right. What can I do here? Like, I was licking his hand, but that would have been a bite. Can you?
And then I'm not trying to get a butt whooping.
Can you equate my licks with a bite, and then realize what I would actually do damage to a grown man? And they were just like, "Shut up, go away," kind of thing. Like, we're done here. And I was like, "No, let's run it again.
Right,
let's run it again.
Right,
I will show you what I will do." And they were like, "No, just the exercise is over." Because the way she was letting me watch her like Lifetime movies were like,
just the worst shit happens.
The worst.
I do love that. Because you're gonna be able to have all of those scenarios where you kick ass in the stuff you make. Period. And that's on Burton and Burton. Okay. I'm jealous of that. I just was being trained on how to fight the devil. Okay, so for me, I think it's a slew of things. I want to see people get their power back. I want to show people how to stand up to some demons, some ghosts, some spirits. Yeah, honestly, because that's the stuff I was too afraid to do as a kid. Like, I would freeze. Like, it's not like they show in the movies. I'm not making a pentagram and being like, yeah, calling people out like they do in tarot, having all the audacity. All the audacity. And in a lot of the good movies we've seen, where it's just like, that's what I want. I want people to leave with the audacity to confront the spirit world, because I do think it's real. But I also think that, like, there's an element of, one, like Stevie Wonder said, if you believe in things that you don't understand, you will suffer. So, like, there's also a warning of, hey, don't dabble in shit you ain't ready for. I want to send that message, because shit is real. But two, if you decide, like, how do I empower you? Like, how do I warn you? How do I empower you? Because the shit is real. But also, it's fun. Like, I also love horror comedy. And so that's something I dive into in writing, which you guys have either seen or you're new to this page and you will see. But yeah, that's also what I love, is to also bring a little bit of humor and lightheartedness to it, a little bit of escapism. I think that I also enjoy horror, not just because I can fight off a demon, but also like I want to laugh, I want to chuckle, and I want a little bit of escapism from just everything else that's going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, right? Like horror is so broad.
Yeah.
That like, yes, you have alien, you have paranormal, you have exorcism,
right,
and then you have freaking normal everyday gore, even like just like weirdos and home invasions, you know, like all of that. Anything that can essentially scare you and get your blood pumping, to me, is horror.
Right. True crime to demonic.
Demonic.
All exists.
Yeah. And so that's something I love about the genre too, is just that it's all encompassing. Anything that can make you uneasy is what I fuck with.
Yeah.
Because it's such a vast genre that there's so much you can do with it.
Yeah. And I love that juxtaposition of beauty and pain, beauty and horror, because I think that's what life is, right? Like we all have a facade, and then there's that deep internal darkness, and I want to address that. I feel like M. Night Shyamalan, I know, does that in a lot of his stuff.
I love him. He's hit or miss, but
when he hits, he hits. And it really does give that, you know, subliminal message of beauty, cleanliness, culty, which we can also tie into that. You know, in my opinion, like I came from an extreme cult version of Christianity, and so the facade is always nice and prim and proper and clean, but there are some dark ass undertones, and I want, like, in the cinematic way, painting a picture of that is also something I want to do in my filmmaking. So yeah, and the perspective of two Black women, like, to be honest, like, I love the idea of being very inclusive and telling all of these POC stories and including a lot of people and a lot of different diverse types. But what's scary to me ain't scary to everybody. You know, what's scary to you isn't scary to everybody, and I'm really excited to show that.
We create the cocktails based off the movies. That's the only time we talk about it now together before we review it, is what are we gonna make for a cocktail based off of the film. Which is also really fun for us. So because like, listen, I'm old, I don't be drinking like that anymore. Yeah, we go out, we still party, but this is much more fun on a Friday night.
It's contained
to just come up with a drink and drink it and talk about a movie,
right?
And then be out spending thousands of dollars. Not thousands, not thousands. Come on, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So like, we ain't out like that,
right?
But we
at home, we watching movies, we sipping, we screaming.
Let's spend money on a bottle of tequila that's gonna last us, instead of buying $20 shots at the bar.
Right.
We're not going to the baths.
We're not going to the bar.
So, every once in a while.
Well, we do sometimes, but we bring game.
Yes. But anyway, so that is how Sip and Scream was born.
Yes. And I think, so that all of that we've mentioned, it is a part of this journey that we go on when we watch movies and when we're chatting about it after. So we hope you join us on this adventure, from the things we make to the things we watch, and just cackling with us.
Yes.
Along the way.
Thank you so much for even taking the time to watch this, to watch any of the content that we put on this channel. We really appreciate it. Yeah. We are not worthy.
We are not. So don't come for us.
Yes.
We're, like we said, we're just learning, we're growing, we're enjoying the ride.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you again.
Yeah.
And stick around to watch us grow, and thank you for the love and support.
Yeah. I'm Patty.
I'm Whitney.
We are Burton and Burton, not Tim. We'll see you around.
See you.
Y'all.
Meet Bailey Beyonce Burton. BBB.
BBB. Ski-dee-dee. Beak-a-dee-dee-dee. It's Bailey B.B. Bailey Beyonce Burton. Bailey Beyonce Burton. Bailey Beyonce ka. She is a 10-year-old girl. She's a diva. She's living with a chronic cough. But we love her, and she's gonna live a long, long life. So if you hear her in the back of our movies, don't think twice, because it's Bailey B, bitch.
B.
Bailey. Go Bailey. Go Bailey. Go Bailey. Go Bailey. She is like, what the fuck? Oh, Bailey girl. I'm her auntie. I'm her auntie. Oh, she does still love us even though we're crazy.